So yes, good morning. My name is Sharon. I work for a company by the name of GNA Certified Roofing North. I was actually invited into this group by Jose. I don't know if Jose is here today or not, but me and his wife actually used to be teachers many years ago. So I know Jose very well. Anyhow, I just want to kind of cover over some things that I want to talk about our company, a little bit about our services that we offer. When it's time to replace a roof, some signs that you can look for, what is our process, the prices, and benefits gained from a roofing partnership. I want to cover all those things here this morning with you guys. A little bit about our company. Who is GNA Certified Roofing North? GNA is a family-owned business. Actually, two brothers own this business. They have many years of roofing experience, over 20 years of experience. Our home office is located in Oviedo, Florida, and we do work throughout the whole state of Florida. We do houses down in Miami, we're in Pensacola, we're everywhere. We are licensed, bonded, insured, and obviously dependable and an honest company. Little bit about our services that we offer. We do roof replacements. That's replacing the whole complete roof if you need it. We can do a roof repair. And also, which a lot of people, I don't want to get into too much of public adjusting because there's so much to cover with that. That's a whole nother meeting for that. But we also can come out and take a look at your client's home. If there's been storm damage, any type of storm, hail, wind, anything that might affect the roof. A lot of people aren't aware of how their homeowner policies work, and a lot of them do cover storm damage. And so if you're trying to get a client's home sold, and roof replacements can be very expensive, if the insurance policy is something that might cover that storm damage, it's worth taking a look into, you know, rather than your client having to come out of pocket to pay for a whole roof or even a roof repair. Roof repairs can also get pricey. We do work on commercial and residential roofs. So we're not just a residential company, we do work for both. All right. Let me go back here. Okay, we're gonna take a look here at the types of roofs that we cover. We pretty much work on 4 different types of roofs, which is your most common types of roofs. We do shingle roofs, also metal roofs, flat roofs, as well as tile roofs. Now, the shingle roofs are your most common types of roofs in Florida. We see those mostly. There's 3 tab shingles, there's architectural shingles, there's different styles. As well, same thing with tile. There's different styles, colors, you know, that you can choose from. They're made of clay. Tile, I think, probably is your second most common that you do see on roofs, but shingle roofs, definitely, people are attracted to shingle roofs because the price, and they're very quick to put on. So especially like when you're trying to get a house closed, if there's an issue with the roof, you know, shingle roofs are kind of your best option to kind of quickly get it closed out. Gonna give you, try not to bore you too much with roof talk, but just kind of give you an idea with shingle roofs. They generally last you from 15 to 20 years. Now we do have to keep in mind here in Florida with hurricanes, you know, we could have a hurricane next month and there you go with your 15 to 20 years, even if you just had your new roof replaced, you know. Again, like I told you, there's different types to choose from. They're very affordable, so that's why they are attracted to a lot of people. And pretty easy to install. Definitely within 1 week, even less than a week, a shingle roof can be done, completed, ready to be sold. Fun fact, I got a fun fact for you guys. Fun fact. In Florida, the lighter colors are best. Why? Because they reflect the light. So that in turn saves you money on the electric bill. So lighter colors is where to go. Metal roofs last almost forever. They can last over 35 years. So they're pretty easy to maintain. They last a long time. And the very same thing, just like with shingles and tile options, they come in many different colors, many different styles to choose from. One great thing about the metal roof though is when you're reselling a home, you're trying to resell it, the value is a little bit more because of their they last a long time. So that's one good point with metal roofs. Flat roofs. Flat roofs you will see mostly on commercial. You do see some on residential, but mostly it's very common to see them on retail stores, gyms, places like that. They also are very durable. Like I said, they last 25 to 30 years. They are very tough, tear resistant. It's a single ply membrane roofing system that's laid out, that's heated. They are, can be pricey. However, when you're looking at the amount of years that they're going to last you, you definitely get your money's worth out of flat roofs. Tile roofs, we'll just touch a little bit on that. Lifespan 25 to 30 years for tile roofs. And again, like I said, with all the other roofs, many different styles, many different colors. They are made from either concrete or clay. Tiles can become very, very, very expensive. However, they are high wind resistant. That's why you'll see a lot of tile roofs by homes located near the beach. So when these storms and hurricanes move in, they are able to withstand that wind that comes along with it. So they are environmentally friendly as well, which is very important. Signs that your roof may need to be replaced. Shingle roofs. This is something good when you are going to get a home put on the listing. Always take a look at the roofs, because the roof, I think the roof is the most expensive part of a homeowner will ever pay for, is the roof. I know plumbing issues can get quite expensive, as well as electrical issues too, but take a look at that roof. Look for curled edges. If you see any curled edges that's on that roof, any bald spots. Shingles do not just drop off. If there's bald spots on that roof, there's been wind damage and possible hail damage, which has knocked them off. Look for cracks in the shingles. All these are good indications that that roof may need to be replaced. Tile roofs, you're going to look for any sliding tiles that have kind of moved down, color loss, cracks. Also take a look at those things. Metal roofs, again, remember they last you a lifetime. They last a long, 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 long time. But you're going to look for any sections that may be rusted, obvious signs or leaks. I mean, that's with any roof. If it starts leaking, now, not to be confused, just because you have a leak doesn't necessarily mean that you need a whole roof. There's certain areas around the vents that over years, they can kind of shift a little bit. So when rain does come, you have to make sure all those are sealed properly to begin with. So it could just be a matter that a vent has shifted or something like that has happened. But if the roof is old and you see it's got curled edges, or if it's a tile and it's, the tiles are sliding, if it's metal and you're seeing all these rusted areas, homeowners know when they need a new roof. They know how long that roof has been on that house. So, but you as an agent, it's good that you understand what to look for, so you kind of know what you're getting yourself into, like, oh, this house is definitely going to need a new roof, for sure. So you know that going in. Our process. So how does it work at GNA? One of our estimators will come out to take a look at the roof. We always try to go put eyes on the roof. Sometimes we get to a shingle house and it has double shingles, for example. Well, that's going to cost the homeowner a little bit more money because that's double work. That may mean a second dumpster has to be on site, or a third dumpster has to be on site. We need more manpower because that's just going to take a lot more work to tear off all those shingles. So an estimator will always come out, measure the roof, take a look at the wood as much as we can around the roof, kind of so we can give an accurate price. Then what we do is we send a proposal out to your client and let them know this is what we can do for you, and this is the price that we can offer. Once the proposal is accepted, then we have our permitting department will send out permit paperwork, because we will have to pull a permit to do the roof. So we'll need to pull that. With each city, it's very different. With each city. City of Orlando, we can get a shingle roof permit in about 5 days. In Lake County, we can get a shingle roof permit same day. So, I mean, it varies on what city. You know, we have to look to see what jurisdiction we need to pull that permit in, and all of that plays a huge role in how long it takes us to get that permit. Now, if you say, Sharon, we have closing in a week, can you please anyway try to rush this? I will do my best. We will do our best to try to get that done for you. However, we're working with the building department. You know, we can ask them, hey, can we put a rush on this? And sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. It just depends on the city. It depends on their capabilities, depends on what they can do. Once we have the roof permit, we can begin work. So it's very important, key, whether you're working with GNA or any roofing company, if you do have those deadlines, to kind of give them a heads up and say, hey, listen, we're running against time here. We have, we got closing, and this roof needs to be done before, or this repair needs to be done before. So communication is key. It's key. So you really have to, you know, let us know on those types of things. Prices, something everybody's wondering, how much do these roofs cost? All right. The roof prices are really going to vary. They truly are. It depends on, you know, the roofing material. Are they getting a metal roof? They're looking for a shingle? Maybe they have shingles and they want the shingles taken off and a metal put on. We do that a lot of times, you know? So it just really, number one, the materials play a role. The layout of the roof. Some roofs are really steep. You know, you have like a pitch that may be like this. So the roof's like super, super steep. Well, we may have to have special equipment to put those shingles on or those tiles on. You know, it's going to be a little bit harder to do those things. We have certain areas, for some of you that are familiar with the Baldwin Park area, it's not always accessible for our trucks to get in there and try to load shingles on top of a roof. Parking can be a nightmare sometimes over there. So trying to decide where are we going to put the dumpster, you know, where it's not in everybody's way, where people, you know, moving traffic can still get through. So there's a lot of things that really play key in giving you that price to be accurate for your homeowner. Obviously, if you have a 3-story building, it's going to be a little bit more, you know, there's greater risk. It's a lot more involved in those types of roofs. So many factors play a price. You know, you can't say, hey, Sharon, I have a 3-bedroom, 2 baths, there's so many square foot. How much for this roof? Pricing doesn't work that way. You know, we have to go out, measure it, get the squares, all that type of information. And again, like I said, make sure there's not double shingles, make sure there's not, you know, asbestos on the roof. There's certain things that we really, really have to, really got to place eyes on it to give you an accurate price. Once you call us and let us know you need that estimate, we really try to get somebody out there within 24 hours. Way less than that, actually. You know, if it's something that we have somebody in an estimator in the area, I can call them and say, hey, please, after you get done this one, can you fit this one in? You're you know, in between this area. We try to get that out to you and then get your client a proposal right away so they can sign. I know a lot of times, especially dealing with selling houses, everybody's running against time and trying to hurry up and close the deal, right? Now, the moment that we've all been waiting for, why should we benefit? What do we gain by a roofing relationship? All right, so let's think about it. Your goal as an agent is to do what? What's the goal? The goal is to close, right? Right? Close, get all those dotted lines signed, show me the money. We want to close this deal. We want to finish up. All right, so let's talk, real talk, okay? You've worked, okay, picture this, and I know many of you have probably been in this situation. You worked really hard, right? Searching to find your client the perfect home. And then you find it. And then you have a roof inspector come out. And he says, oh, this roof needs to be repaired, or worse yet, oh, you need a whole new roof replacement. So here we go. You are working against time, right? Everybody's trying to rush and get the roof done. We want to close. We want to do all of this stuff. Do you have time really to go through searching to try to find a roofing company? No, you don't have that kind of time to wait for them to call you back. You know, you call and, oh, this Tuesday comes. They never call me back. Oh, Wednesday comes. Meanwhile, your client's like, hey, I want to sell this house. We have a buyer, but we have this issue with the roof. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? So I'm just here to tell you, GNA is a company that we would love to partner with you guys. Each and every one of you. We're dependable. We respond. And then, I mean, you just look at all the benefits as well. Not only can we service we can service your clients, but we also have investors. We have, and just for our regular clients that are looking to sell their home that we can refer out to you. It's all about building relationships. And hopefully, if you are looking for a roofing company to partner with, you will consider us. You will consider GNA. Just give us a try. Next, don't break your head trying to look for a roofing company if you don't already have one. I'm here to tell you, give us a try, and let us help you get that house sold. Okay, this is about it for my presentation. I want to say thank you to everyone. I know you probably have a million other places to be right now, but you chose to come here this morning. I really appreciate your time. I did include my cell phone number, my office number, as well as my email address. If you have any questions, no question is a dumb question. Okay, so always ask. Even if you just want to call, maybe you don't even really want to use us, but you have questions, please feel free just to reach out to me. Okay, just want to be able to help you guys out any way you can to help close the deal, and help you guys grow your business. Our website is currently under construction, so I'm sorry I don't have a website for you. I can get that for you once that gets up. IT gets all of that stuff situated and gets that up. I will gladly share that with you guys. But does anyone have any questions for me now while we're here?
Sharon, there are a couple of questions in chat. One of them is, are there any types of roofs that you don't do?
Not really. I mean, we have to be careful. We do have certain roofs that has, it's called asbestos on it. That's like a growth, that kind of comes on the roof. But no, I mean, really, we do cover any type of roof. We really do. The ones that I shared with you are the common types that we do. But other than that, no, we pretty much do everything.
Okay. And then another question is, how far behind are shingle manufacturers right now?
Yeah, when we got hit with COVID, it really hit us hard. Thankfully for us, we have a huge stockpile. And we have really good relationships with our manufacturers. So when COVID hit, we were able to we were already pretty full with stock before that hit us. So it really didn't hurt us too bad, but material can have times where it's very hard to get. Like I said, thankfully we have really good relationships with our distributors, so we didn't really suffer too much. But prices on everything it went up, supply and demand.
Okay. And the next question in chat is, since metal roofs last so long, why aren't they just standard?
Well, price. I mean, really, it just really depends on price, to be honest with you. Some people prefer, and some people don't like the look. Some people don't like the look of the metal, the metal roof. So it just really depends on a person's standards on what they want.
Is there a general rule of thumb? I know there's a lot of variables that go into pricing, as you said, but is it like metal roofs run, 3 times the price of shingle typically, or, is there any sort of rough comparison?
I will tell you, metal roofs are almost double. They're almost double the amount of a shingle roof. So, I mean, there is kind of a big price jump there.
What prevents a metal, you said they last so long, which I'd heard, what prevents them from rusting quickly in our weather with the rain and sun?
Well, they do have special coatings on them to protect that, but over time it will eventually rust. But again, I mean, you're getting some years out of it.
What about when it comes to, because here in Florida, there are a lot of homeowners that have solar panels on roofs. So how does that play into your processes?
Well, if you do have if your client has solar panels on there, we do work with a company to remove those solar panels if they are going to keep them. Now, however, a lot of solar companies will come out and remove, it's covered under the warranty for a certain amount of time. So that's always worth checking into. Well, they'll come out and they'll remove them and put them back on if you're having a roof replacement. And for those that won't, or it's past that warranty, we can take care of that for the customer and removing it and getting them put back on.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm like bombarding you with questions.
No. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine.
So for me personally, I grew up in a cold climate, so metal roofs were like always the way to go because in
Oh,
the
okay.
wintertime, the snow kind of slides off them, you know?
Slides off. Right.
Yeah, exactly. So, but here, obviously, that's not a concern. So one of the things that I thought about is when you have a metal roof and it's, you know, the pouring rain that we get in the summertime, what's the sound like inside? Are they insulated, sound insulated?
They are
or
insulated, so you're not hearing that. It's not like, I have sunroofs in my home, and when it rains, it's like you hear every little raindrop. But a metal roof, no, it's not like that at all. They are insulated, so you're not hearing all of that.
Okay, cool. And then the last question that I have, I promise,
That's
and this
okay.
may this may be more for an insurance company, I'm not sure, but with both metal and tile roofs, obviously they're not as easy to break through as what a shingle roof would be that has wood underneath. So if it came to like a fire in the attic, is there a concern maybe in terms of insurability with getting through a metal or a tile roof to be able for a fire department to be able to access the attic?
Yeah, that would be a question I really don't know. That is a good question, though. I don't have a clear answer for you on that one.
Yep, that's fine. I think
But
probably it
that
would be
is a
better
great
for
question.
yeah.
It is a great question, Lee.
That is.
This is how
is.
my brain works. All right.
I have
Who
a
else?
couple more if you don't mind, if you still have
Yeah,
time.
sure. Yeah, sure.
I always thought that flat roofs were discouraged, like they're hard to get insurance for because rain sits on top, and yet, your slide said that they last a long time. They're very durable.
Yeah, they do last a long time. You have to make sure flat roofs are you have to make sure whoever's putting your flat roof on and doing your flat roof understands, because flat roofs do need a very, very minimal slope. Because if you have the flat roof that it's like this, and it's called a tapered system, and basically all it is it's adding a slope, adding just a very minor slope. Not even to the naked eye, you can't even really tell that it's a slope there, but you have to use certain material to put that slope, because otherwise what's going to happen is you will have water sitting and it will eventually collapse it. So if you don't have a tapered system, water needs to be able to flow from that tapered system. So as long as it's installed properly with someone who has that experience with flat roofs. But you are very correct, because if that water just sits and there's not a tapered system, over time, it just puts more and more pressure, and eventually you have a collapsed roof.
So do insurance companies come out? Well, you might not know, again, this may be an insurance question. Do they come out and inspect for that?
Yeah, that I don't know,
Okay.
to be honest with you, but roofing, we have inspections. So once we do the roof, there's certain inspections and they have to meet building code. So now with the new codes and stuff, an inspector will come out, and if it's a flat roof, there better be a tapered system on there if there's not already, because otherwise, like we said, it's gonna collapse. The water's gonna sit on there and the pressure, and it's just gonna collapse the roof. So hopefully an inspector, does what he's supposed to do and will either pass or fail it. If there's not a tapered system, then that obviously would need to fail that inspection and need to be done right. But it's very important. I mean, when you're selecting to get this type of work done, to select a contractor who has knowledge and who knows what they're doing, because just trying to get anybody to come do stuff, you can end up with a huge, huge issue, that costs you millions down the line. So just to avoid those type of situations. But definitely good question though.
And then I have one last one, and then anyone else is free to ask.
You're fine.
Tile roofs. I always just assumed, I'd never had anyone discuss it before, so I'm glad you're on here today. I always assumed that the tiles came off, because I've seen tile roofs with tiles missing, and I assumed it was wind because they have the gaps, like you see the gaps in the tile, right? But I know you said that they actually withstand wind better. Is that because supposedly the wind goes through those gaps?
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly why. Exactly. And they're made of concrete or clay. So their durability versus like an asphalt shingle, it's going to last you. It's last you a lot longer. It's very hard for wind to blow those off, but shingles, they're easily to flip if you get wind that's strong enough. So if you're getting, like, say, for example, a hailstorm, and it's got hail that's banging those shingles, and then wind is pushing them, and then rain, it's very easy for those to come off during a bad storm. That's why during a hurricane, after a hurricane, if you go, you'll see patches everywhere where the wind and, the storm just had blown those off. And then on top,
doesn't crack them. Hail
No.
doesn't crack the tile.
No, they're very durable, very durable.
How are they adhered? Like, what makes them stick to each other?
They're nailed. They have special nails that are
Okay.
nailed. They're nailed in.
Is there any additional? So I mean, my assumption would be that the tiles would be heavier. Decking that needs to go on before the tiles can be attached to account for that additional weight? Or is it like if I was going to go from a shingle roof and then upgrade to a tile roof, would there need to be an additional thicker or more durable decking?
Yes,
Okay.
to hold those tiles in place. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like I said, they are made of clay or concrete, so they are pretty heavy.
Yeah.
They're pretty heavy.
Who else has questions? Because I'm sure everybody's tired of hearing me talk. Nobody?
Actually, I have one question, Sharon.
Yes.
So my question is, say for example, I have a shingle home and I want to put maybe tile or the metal on it. Can I for the most part, let's just say standard house, can I do that? Or is it something that's just like, yeah, that's not going to work. Maybe these two options will work for the house, but the third one won't.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, or are they for the most part like versatile?
For the most part, yes, they are. However, there are, a couple things you have to take in consideration. HOA, number one, are you in a subdivision or are you in an area where HOA is not, you have to get all that approved. Now, two, there's only one instance I can think of that it will not work. For example, when you have townhouses that are connected, you can't really have one house have a metal roof and the other one shingle because the metal's going to overlap certain areas. It's just not going to work out. But other than that, yeah, I mean, definitely, if you have a shingle and you want to put tile on that, as long as HOA is okay with it, G&A is perfectly fine with it too. So, and building code is fine as well with that. I mean, as long as you're doing that roof according to building code, you're perfectly fine. So yeah, besides those couple little obstacles that you just have to clarify and make sure that it's okay, it's perfectly fine for you to do that.
It brings me to a question though. When you are switching from a shingle roof to a metal roof, is there anything in regards to the underlayment or support structure or trusses that is needed that's different for either metal or tile because of the weight difference versus shingle?
Ben, that's a great question. It just really depends on what's under the roof. It depends on how the roof is constructed already, and those type of things we do not know until we tear that roof off. I mean, and that brings up another a great thing too. For example, we replace a lot of rotted wood. So for example, on these shingle roofs, when we take off these shingles, a lot of times there'll be rotted wood underneath, because people are not you don't replace your roof that often. So there will be rotted wood. So we have to, take all that wood out and replace it with new good wood. So it just really kind of depends on what we find once it's under. It may be completely fine to go ahead and lay that metal roof on that foundation of that roof that's there, or we may have to add to it. Just kind of depends on what we find once we open it.
Anybody else have a question for Sharon while she's here? Kelly, you muted yourself. Did you have a question?
Oh, well, just tagging on to Ben's is and yours, if you found that more structure was needed to switch from shingle to say tile because it's heavier, there's never an issue with the actual foundation of the home. Like, builders don't build homes, the base of a home different if it's going to have a tile roof versus a shingle. Is that ever a concern? The actual house itself holding up the extra weight?
No, not the foundation per se of the home, but the roof structure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Well, Sharon, thank you again so much for taking a part of your day to come and talk to us. I think this was, for me anyway, super helpful, and I think I can probably speak for the team when I say that it was super helpful for them as well. For those of you on the team, Sharon's contact information is in Follow Up Boss, so feel free to reach out to her the next time you have a roofing situation come up, and let her show you the G&A difference.
I like that, Lee. I like that.
And yeah, that's kind of it. So thank you so much, Sharon. I really appreciate it.
And thank you guys for your time too. I know everybody has a million things they need to be doing right now, but I really appreciate the time and the opportunity to come on and just share a little bit about my company that I work for. And again, like I said, feel free to reach out. You have any questions? If I don't have the answer, I can get you the answer. You know, I don't know everything there is to know in this business, but I definitely can find you an answer. Please. So again, you have my contact information, so don't be a stranger.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too. All right. For those of you on the team, just a quick reminder, this afternoon at noon, we'll be meeting at the offices of AmeriFirst for in-person workday with happy hour to follow. Looking forward to seeing you all there. Also, just a heads up, this coming Thursday, the 30th, there is going to be the Florida contract class this week for sure is going to be focusing on the upcoming changes. So if you have not already looked into the upcoming changes to the as-is contract, I certainly would encourage you to check that out. That will be at 10:30 in eXp World in the Florida auditorium. So yeah, check that out. Make sure you're up on the changes before they actually go into effect. Before we wrap up for the day, anybody want to share any big wins from yesterday, any lessons learned, or any questions that you have specific to the deals that you're working with?
I got my roof repair back, and that helped us get the conditional approval for my buyers, and we're on the road to closing successfully. So yay.
Excellent. I'm so happy to hear that. Congrats.
Thank you so much.